Hello everyone and welcome with our Natural Life channel. Today, we will show you all about Cyclamen, PlantCare and growing guide. Cyclamen persicum is a petite, flowering plant with sweet-scented, small blooms on long stems that stretch up above the foliage. It is a tuberous perennial, meaning it dies down to its thick roots, tubers during its summer dormancy period, and then regrows quickly each fall. Flowers come in shades of pink, purple, red, and white. The heart-shaped leaves are medium green, often with silver marbling. It's commonly grown as a houseplant and is especially popular during the winter holiday season, when you can find cyclamen blooming on shelves in garden centers and grocery stores. Seeds can be planted in late summer for blooms in the subsequent year's winter, roughly 18 months later. Sickle fern is toxic to animals and people. Sickle fern care. If grown outdoors, sickle fern needs well-drained soil and should be planted in an area that gets bright, indirect light but not much direct sunlight. However, Cyclamen persicum is usually cultivated for varieties that are better suited as houseplants. There are some related species such as C. Hytoherphilium that are more often used when growing Cyclamen in the landscape. Syringa persicum. The Florus syringa is usually grown in pots indoors. It goes dormant for the summer, but with proper care, it will regrow and rebloom in the fall. Exactly when cyclamen goes fully dormant depends on its growing conditions. Warm temperatures propel it to dormancy. But if you keep your home cool, your plant might not appear to go fully dormant. Instead, it might just lose some leaves and not look its best, or bloom for a couple of months. Light gives cyclamen bright, indirect light in the winter when the plant is actively growing. In the summer when the plant is dormant. It's best to keep cyclamen in a cool, dark spot with good air circulation. So cyclamen prefers to grow in organically rich, well-draining soil with a slightly acidic soil. For container plants, you can use regular potting mix. Just mix some sphagnum peat into the soil to raise the acidity. Water when leaves are present. The plant is actively growing during this period. Water whenever the soil feels dry, about an inch below its surface. Avoid getting water on the leaves or crown of the plant, part where the stem meets the roots, which can cause it to rot. Cyclamen disease control outlines. University of California, Agriculture and Natural Resources. While the plant is dormant, losing most or all of its leaves, water infrequently, only to prevent the soil from entirely drying out. Try tray watering. A common way to water cyclamen is to put the pot on a tray. Then water the tray so the roots take up the moisture. Try tray watering. A common way to water cyclamen is to put the pot on a tray. Then water the tray so the roots take up the moisture. Temperature and humidity. Sickle and lemon plants don't like extreme heat, drafts, or dry air. They do best in a climate that replicates their native environment, preferring temperatures between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 50 degrees Fahrenheit at night, and between 60 degrees Fahrenheit and 70 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. High humidity, especially during the winter, is crucial. To raise the humidity, keep your plant on a tray filled with water and pebbles, making sure the pot isn't continuously touching the water, as this can cause root rot. If you move your plant outdoors for the summer, Bring it back indoors before the weather turns cold. A good rule of thumb is to bring it inside while the temperature is still comfortable for you, and you can keep your windows open without feeling chilled indoors. Fertilizer. Feed your cyclamen plant with a diluted liquid, low nitrogen fertilizer every couple of weeks while in full leaf. You don't need to fertilize cyclamen while it's dormant. Types of cyclamen. There are many wonderful types of cyclamen available, and because they stay in bloom for a long period, you often can choose your plant while the flowers are open to know exactly what you will be getting. Some popular varieties include Sierra series. These plants have large flowers, 2 to 3 inches across in white-pink salmon, scarlet lilac and purple sensation. The flowers of this variety boast a strong fragrance, and the plant flowers in pinks and reds. Victoria. This variety features ruffled, white flowers with red accents. Potting and repotting cyclamen. When first potting your cyclamen, select a pot that leaves around an inch of space around the tuber. Place the tuber in the potting mix so that it's poking slightly out of the soil. When repotting, follow these steps. 1. Fill the new container partway with potting soil. 2. Then lift the tuber out of the original pot and brush off the old soil, but don't rinse it. 3. Place the tuber in the new pot so its top is about 2 inches from the rim. Cover it with potting soil. 4. Place the pot in a shady, dry spot for the rest of the summer. 5. Start watering it around September, and you should start to see new growth emerging. Cyclamen should be repotted every 2 years. You can easily repot the plant while it is dormant in the summer with fresh potting mix and a slightly larger container. How to get cyclamen to bloom. Some cyclamen can bloom for up to 8 weeks, but blooming for 5 or 6 weeks is within the normal range. Though many people tend to treat indoor cyclamen as annuals and toss the plant after it blooms, you can enjoy the same plant as it reblooms year after year. To encourage reblooming during its growth period, snip dead flower stalks off at the base, as well as any yellowing leaves. Then, as blooming slows, gradually allow the plant to dry out for 2 to 3 months. It is going into its dormant stage, and too much water will cause the tuber to rot. 3. A little water is recommended, but you don't want the soil to remain wet. 2. Fine buds. You may have to spread apart the leaves a tiny bit. Seasonal care for cyclamen. Cyclamen have their most active growth in the winter, and they need special care at different times of the year. Winter care. Winter is the flowering season for cyclamen. Potted florist. Cyclamen plants actively grow during the winter, so this is the time when they should be moved into a spot with plenty of bright indirect light. Correct watering is critical during this time, as the roots are highly sensitive to moisture and can easily develop rot. Wait for the leaves to begin to droop and the potting mix is dry to the touch before watering again. Spring care. As winter gives way to spring, potted cyclamen stop flowering and naturally enter a semi-dormant stage. At this time they should be moved into a cool, shady location. Stop watering and allow the soil to dry out. Avoid the temptation to water during this time, as the roots will likely develop rot. Spring into summer. Your cyclamen's leaves will start to turn yellow, dry out, and fall off after you stop watering it in spring. The plant should remain dormant through summer. It can be placed outside as long as it is shaded from sunlight and kept sheltered from rain. Summer through fall. As summer gives way to fall, Cyclamen can be moved into a spot with bright, indirect light and nursed with gentle watering until new green growth begins to develop.